If you've ever played Shi No Numa, then you've probably noticed the eerie and mysterious sight of the Hanging Man. Considering he is located right where the players spawn, he's pretty hard to miss. If you're anything like me, you may have asked yourself over the years, who is this guy? Why is he here and how did he get here? These questions and many more plagued my mind as a kid every time I'd load up the map. Of course, myths and false ideas swelled within my brain as I wondered what the heck this guy was doing here. So today, we're going to try and answer these questions and explore what's true and what's false about the mysterious Hanging Man. First off, let's give this guy a name.
What's his name? What's his name? I got nothing on a name. Come on, baby, what's the name? We threw out his name!
If you were thinking I'd say this is Zombie Hitler, well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but his name is actually Peter McCain. This has been confirmed by Treyarch, but before that, it had been speculated that this was someone else. Some thought it to be just a random soldier, while others went as far as saying it was Dempsey. I personally always believed him to be just a random soldier who was put there to add to the spooky factor of the map. So why is Peter McCain here on Shi No Numa? According to the lore, Peter McCain was a double agent spy from America who was tasked with infiltrating Group 935. If you want to know more about those guys, go check out my previous Myths of WaW video. Originally working as a lab assistant at Derice, he was transferred to Verrucht where a zombie outbreak would occur. Sometime after Verrucht, Peter found himself at Shi No Numa, and this is where things get a bit foggy. If you listen to one of the radio transmissions on the map, you will hear a rather spooky and intense altercation occur between a group of individuals and zombies. Let's take a quick listen. Towards the end of the transmission, we hear an odd electric noise. While it has been debated that this sound may be a teleporter, I actually believe this to be the sound of the power being turned on at Verrucht. And if you're wondering who it is that turned on the power, it is none other than our boy Peter. Doing a little detective work, one can see how this is true. Let's first take a look at Peter's hanging body. You'll notice he is missing his left arm. Where could it be, you might ask? Well, it has been thought that perhaps Peter was tortured or experimented on at Verrucht, and in the process had his arm cut off. People thought this to be true due to this operating table, which has an arm still attached to it. This is ultimately not true though. As you may have already noticed, the arm in the operating table belongs to someone's right arm, not the left. So where could Peter's arm be? If we make our way into the room where power is located, we find an arm attached to the lever for power. This arm, however, does fit the bill for Peter's missing left arm. So it seems that Peter was indeed the one who turned on the power in the radio transmission we heard earlier. What happened after that is a mystery, but somehow he was able to make it to Shi No Numa. This leaves us with another question. How did he die? It might seem rather obvious to people that he has hung himself, but I'm not sure it's that simple. Way back when I first played Shi No Numa, I always thought the Hanging Man was a paratrooper who had gotten his parachute stuck on the roof and subsequently died. This can be backed up by what seems to be a parachute and some rope laying on the roof just a couple feet from where Peter is hanging. Another reason this could be true is based on what he is wearing, specifically in the World at War version of the map. It almost seems like he's wearing something a paratrooper would wear, particularly around his torso area. In later versions of the map though, he looks like a regular soldier, so the latter point of this argument may be invalid. Some people even claim that Richtofen hung Peter for being a spy, but there is not a lot of evidence for this. Regardless of what theory you believe, how exactly Peter got here and died is still a mystery, and it may never be truly solved, especially as the zombies story continues and different universes are now a thing, so yeah, it's getting a little wild. I'd now like to direct your attention to what gave good old Peter his fame back in the day. Many of you I'm sure are familiar with this glitch, but if not, you're in for a nostalgia treat. It's a pretty simple yet devastating glitch that will affect an entire lobby. If you and your fellow players throw all your grenades at Peter and shoot his body with rockets and other weapons, he will eventually get stuck on the wall nearby. At that point, he will lay out on the ground below with the rope stretched out to his neck. Continuously lobbing grenades at his body will cause it to do an occasional hop, which looks really funny. This is where you need to be careful, because if anyone in your lobby touches the body laying on the ground, The entire match will reset and you will start back at round 1, but oddly enough still have your stats. If you do this in single player, you'll be downed infinitely, and the game will only stop if you quit. This can make for some incredible trolling if you really want to be that guy, but be warned, this only works in World at War's version of the map. And as to why his body kills you upon touching it, that's a mystery in and of itself. Side note, I feel like someone could have made a decent creepypasta out of this like 7 years ago. Something like Peter coming through the screen after you touch him and killing your whole family. Anywho, Peter McCain may be one of the most mysterious characters in the Nazi zombie story with just how much is unknown about him. How he got to Shi No Numa and how he is in a different or parallel universe in Gorod Krovi are questions I can't answer. But what I can say is that it's fascinating. Looking back at the mystery of the Hanging Man has reminded me of the good old days of zombies, when there was just so much mystery and uncertainty as to what was going on. I truly believe it had an atmosphere that zombies today just can't compare with. If you or your friends had some crazy ideas about who the Hanging Man was, or maybe some funny moments while doing the glitch, I'd love to hear about it down in the comments below. Thanks guys so much for watching this episode of Myths of WaW. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you would like to check out other myths I've covered for World at War, I'll have them linked to the top right corner of this video. Until next time, peace guys.